Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
When it comes to playtime, never let your squad down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Push your gameplay beyond performance with 13th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E. And maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search and head to Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Couple 13-14 pass Common Man program. It's been a fast-paced, action-packed, controversial first hour of the Common Man program. Back from a few days off. Baby brother Peter on spring break from the Ohio State University. So we did some father-son bonding the last couple of days. He's glad it was only 2 days, I think. I think he is mildly amused by the nonstop nonsense. Deuce loves it. Though even Deuce gets after a while. Deuce is he's curled up in the fetal position before and said, please make it stop. But for the most part, Deuce is... You know what he's doing now, Tenneby? You'll love this. He was in, he's the camera guy for Lincoln Stars hockey, where he's in the crowd. He's now doing between period interviews like Gorg does.
Oh my gosh.
And he did 2 of them, and he sent them to me. They're both pretty good for him, having never done it before, right? I mean, I'm pretty proud of him. But the one, and he admits he forgot. The second one, he was chewing gum, and he forgot to get the gum out. So he asked the guy the question, as the guy's answer, you see him go... And I said,
I always love that.
Dude,
one.
It's a little triple L. In other words, low-level loser to be chewing gum. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I didn't even realize I was doing it until I watched it. That wasn't probably the best thing. But they were both, he asked the right questions and have done
He's got some talent.
Yeah, I was very proud of him. He did a really nice job. So, go Deuce. Time now for 534 here on The Fan.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1. It's time now for the lowdown in Dinkytown.
The Gophers men's basketball team will face Northwestern this afternoon in the Big Ten tournament. Minnesota lost to the Wildcats 75-63 back on February 25th. Wildcats junior Nick Martinelli scored 29 in that game. He finishes the league's top scorer. If the Gophers win, they'll face Wisconsin tomorrow. Gophers Northwestern, that opening tap is at 2:30 p.m. this afternoon in Indianapolis Common. How will the Gophers fare in this one, and how far will they go in the Big Ten tournament?
Sorry, turn on the mic. Do I ducky and bunny it up here a little bit, or? I mean, look. I'm not paying as close attention to Gopher basketball as I once used to, and I've barely paid attention to Big Ten basketball. You and I have had this discussion before. I'd pay much closer attention. I pay closer attention to a sport when the local team is a powerhouse, or really good. And you go, wow, this is fun. With the Gophers, as bad as it's been, I don't think they're going to win the Big Ten tournament, so I don't think they're getting an automatic NCAA tournament berth, and they're certainly not going to be an at-large team, so they're going to be NIT, and I guess sort of half an eye I'll watch to see. But my guess is that they lost to Northwestern before. My guess is they'll lose again today, unless Ben can, unless you can do the old, you know what, maybe Ben will fire him up and do the old win one for a Gipper kind of a speech, get him fired up, maybe bring in Fleck to tell him to row the boat, Sky-Uma, go Gophers, but I don't know. Your thoughts? You're probably paying even less attention than I am. Right?
Yeah. All I know is we're seeded higher.
Yeah.
We're the 12 seed, they're the 13 seed. So.
Well, then maybe we win. It's official. Hargrave's a Viking?
No, I do have two football breaking news, though. Obviously, the Vikings in the market for a free agent backup quarterback. One has been taken off the books. Marcus Mariota has re-signed with the Washington Commanders on a 1-year, $8 million deal. So Mariota going back to Washington, and not surprising news, but the Rams have informed wide receiver Cooper Kupp that they are releasing him today. So Cooper Kupp will officially now be available on the open market.
Remind me, is Cooper Kupp a little long in the tooth, not as effective, injury prone?
He's had a lot of injury stuff last year. When he came back from injury, his season was going all right. It ended really bad. The last 5 games, he was like just a shell of his former self. So I don't know how much injuries have to play with it. He's also up there in age a little bit. But if the price is right, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Speaking of up in age and having injury issues, Tiger Woods announced yesterday that he had undergone surgery to repair a ruptured Achilles tendon in his left leg. Woods has undergone numerous surgeries over the past several years and even had one as recently as September 2024 when he underwent back surgery. Comment after this Achilles injury, is it officially over for Tiger Woods?
He's like a Frankenstein monster. He's had so many surgeries, and I think steel rods here, steel rods there, here a rod, there a rod, everywhere a piece of metal. Did I read he'd had an Achilles issue another time as well? I think another time he had an Achilles issue. Yeah,
And that's not a fun injury.
No. Look, he came back and was it 2018 he won the Masters? It was the 2018 or
2019, I believe.
He won the Masters. That surprised me. I mean, I know he's, one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, but still from where he'd been, where he was going, and where he seemed to be at the time, I didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people did. And he won, so it's always... you hear all the guys on Golf Channel do this. The people that cover golf for a living love idolizing. Put it this way. The people that cover a specific sport for a living love idolizing and pedestalizing the people they cover. The greats, not everyone. So they do that with, they'll always go, I would never count Tiger Woods. Like if Tiger was playing this week, let's say he didn't have the Achilles, I would never count Tiger out. No, you count Tiger out. I'm sorry. Man,
I used to say that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We've gone past that now.
I think we're past that. So I don't know. I mean...
Plus, the Tiger we've been seeing is a guy who's limping his way through a golf course. It's pretty clear his swing's not the same.
I mean, he wants to play. Obviously, he's a golfer. That's what he does, right? And you and I have discussed this often recently as we head into free agency, talking about once you make the decision to retire in sports, you're pretty much done, right? You retire at an awful early age. Most guys in most sports don't get past early to mid-30s. Guys that take care of themselves and are superstars, they can sometimes, like in a Rodgers, can go till you're 40, but you're just out. So once you decide, so he's he knows he's 49. I think, here's my guess is he's setting himself up. He wants to play some senior tour golf, I think is what he wants to do. Because I think he's one USGA victory away from breaking that record. And I think Nicklaus holds it. And don't quote me on it because you know me, accuracy isn't my middle name, but USGA, meaning, like a Masters isn't a USGA event. The The Open Championship across the pond is not a United States Golf Association event, but USGA events. I think Tiger is like tied with Nicklaus. He'd like to break that. And he just likes competing. You can see it, right? You talk about a guy that loves playing, so...
He also has financial reasons to keep golfing in that TGL thing next year, because he knows if Tiger's on there, ratings go up, and he will be financially compensated well for having the ratings go up.
If he needs any more dough, and he probably doesn't.
He doesn't need it, but yeah.
I think he just... I think he likes to compete, so I think he's going to keep trying, but I think... I mean, I don't think this is like going out on a limb. I think his days as being a contender on the tour are done, so I think.
Yeah.
Question number 3.
All Vikings, let's win this game. You'll hear us yell for more.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the state of the skull.
Well, this is my plan for this question, but we kind of just touched on it a little bit ago with the breaking news. But I'm going to ask you anyway. To maybe just extend the conversation. The Los Angeles Rams have informed wide receiver Cooper Kupp that they are releasing him today. Obviously, there is history with Cooper Kupp and Kevin O'Connell in Los Angeles when he was the offensive coordinator there. Maybe need some depth at wide receiver with, Jalen Naylor as your third receiver and possible Jordan Addison gets suspended for a little bit here. So if you are the Vikings, would you want them to acquire Cooper Kupp?
I'll defer to you. You said you'd be interested at the right price. Is that what you said? And what would that right price be? I mean, because he's not going to get top wide receiver dollar anymore. I guess there might be a mild bidding war if there's a couple, 3 teams that are interested in a service.
I do think there would be multiple teams interested. Now, he had been available via trade for the last couple weeks, right? It's not like this Cooper Kupp news just came out of nowhere. We've known that he wasn't going to be on the Rams next year for quite some time. He was due to make $20 million this year. And there were teams that did not trade for him, so I'm assuming they don't like that $20 million price tag, which they probably shouldn't like that $20 million price tag, given he's 31 years old and has had some injury stuff the last 3 years. But I'm guessing he could still fetch, probably because of his age, it's only going to be 1 year, 2 years, but maybe that $12, $13, $14 million range.
Would you do it? For that kind
Short term, for that money, I would.
All right.
Yeah. There's risk involved. He's not healthy a lot. And most wide receivers struggle when they get past 31 years old, and it's going to have that same burst, that same athleticism. But if he has anything left, when he was going well, he was one of the best wide receivers in football. And I also think he's a good fit for this offense just because, JJ is going to play on the outside and can run basically every route. Jordan Addison is kind of more of a speed guy. I'm not saying that's all he can do, but he's a guy who can stretch the field. I think they've needed someone who can handle kind of the middle of the field, handle the slot, and Cooper Kupp, I think, can do a lot of that well.
Is Adam Thielen still available? Or is he done so, do you think?
Guess who is available? Stephon Diggs. He's a free agent.
Oh my gosh. Above average at that.
This guy wants the ball every play, though, right? Or do you think guys get
maybe he's starting to figure it out now that he's not quite what he used to be.
And he don't have no ring, right?
No.
So sometimes guys get to this stage and go, it's almost over for me. I don't have much time left. I can make a decent paycheck. I could play over there.
He should go to Kansas City is what he should.
I think that's where, maybe that's the place to go.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
I will say this, though, Tenby, and maybe I'll let you look at it during the break. The interview, Deuce's interview, and a Lincoln Stars hockey player, he's chewing his gum while doing the interview. He is chewing it confidently, it looks like to me.
Well, that's the most important thing.
And so if Deuce is chewing his gum confidently, do you let it go then and say, that's okay? Probably shouldn't be, but it's a confident gum chew. So,
was he squinting at all?
No,
from the lights in the arena?
They weren't that bright because they were like in the tunnel of the hockey arena, so we don't have that going for him. But there is always that to think about. Let's take a break and come back. You say you have some PST nominees.
Yeah, we do got some nominees.
And with some audio.
With some audio as well, yeah.
Well, let's do that. We got the short segment coming up between now and 1:30. 1:30, we're going to really spread our wings and really get controversial. And then welcome Rosen into the conversation at 2. All of that and more on the Common Man program on The Fan.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, you know, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Oh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
It's tax season, and by now, I know we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's an important one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Here's another, 20%. That's the overall increase in identity theft related to tax fraud in 2024 alone. But it's not all grim news. Here's a good number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's US-based restoration specialists will fix it, backed by another good number, the $1 Million Protection Plan. In fact, restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Don't face identity theft and financial losses alone. There's strength in numbers with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection for tax season and beyond. Join now and save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Tired of restless nights? At Leesa, they know good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. From memory foam mattresses to hybrids that keep you cool all night long, Leesa's mattresses offer exceptional comfort and support with free delivery and 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Go to Leesa.com today and get 20% off all mattresses. That's LEESA.com and use code IHEART for an extra $50 off your purchase. Remember, no matter who you are, there's a Leesa just for you.
You're listening to The Fan.
Join Meat Sauce and Miller Lite at Duke's Pizza Pub in Oakdale this Thursday from 5 to 7. Stop by to register for a chance to win a spot in the Vikings Foundation Golf Tournament. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword golf.
You heard during that last commercial break, Meat Sauce doing an endorsement for Chill Boys underwear. I would like to do an endorsement for Victoria's Secret, but I don't know if I can because there is one thing I'm not particularly fond of at Victoria's Secret. You know what the worst part of it is, Teneby?
What's that?
They won't let you try anything on. Thank you. Copyright Wild Bill Bauer. Preposterous Statement Tournament was a rousing success, I believe. It was Triple V Double I, the 17th time we've done it. Draymond Green was the winner. Basically, I'll just paraphrase what he said. He goes, because of the fine system, when you're suspended or get too many technicals or whatever it may be, he says you pay so much in fines that the league just isn't set up for a player to retire wealthy. And so he won the Preposterous Statement Tournament. Need I say more? I don't think so. But it is interesting. When we're doing the preposterous statement tournament, it seems like people's ears perk up a little bit more, Teneby, in which they're more
Their antenna?
Yeah, their antenna's up and they're listening. They're more intent on finding them. And so you told me during one of the breaks, you said, you didn't say it this way, but this is basic what you're saying. I can tell you got nothing today. You need a segment killer. How about we do some PST?
Well, I had it in line for yesterday if I needed it for the Tenna Fitzgerald. And, we ended up to go for Basketball Weekly show, so I ended up not needing it.
Okay.
But I had it, as insurance. I had it as radio insurance for me. And so I thought, well.
Is that kind of what you were saying, though, really? Was, I can tell you got nothing today?
No, I hadn't even talked to you yet, so. I mean, I go into every show assuming you're not going to have anything.
Yeah, well,
so if you need some help.
It's like, here you go. We could use some help.
You ready for some nominees for next year?
Yes, let's do it.
PST VVV III nominee.
The first one, it's a non-audio one. Ron Harper says it's harder.
Former basketball player?
Yeah, former NBA. He says it's harder to win rings than it is to score 50,000 points in the NBA. Which, by the way, LeBron James is the only player ever to score more than 50,000 points.
Yeah.
So that's one of those.
How? Because every year a team wins a ring, so 15 guys are getting rings. That's preposterous. Well done, Ron Harper.
We have another.
PST VVV III nominee.
Don't have the audio one for this one yet, but Lavelle Neal apparently said on Barrero's show that baseball is hard to practice.
Huh?
Baseball is hard to practice.
Wait, hold on. I'll give you a...
Huh?
How so? You stand into the batting cage and they throw pitches and you try to hit them. And
ground balls, yeah.
Yeah, and then you look at it.
It's actually the easiest to practice.
It really is. It is.
It's the easiest to simulate game situations.
Yeah. I don't know where it would be hard.
It's the least demanding on the body.
Yeah, I don't know where it would be hard to be practiced, but LaBelle's a ball guy. I tried to get him going. Did I tell you that?
No.
He wrote I think he's just ignoring what he and Suhan said about me in that podcast where they said, I don't think Common really believes what he says about the Pole lads. He just does it because he knows that's what he wants his audience to hear. So Lavelle, his column the other day was, the Twins have the sticks and they will swing them. He's basically saying they're going to tear the cover off the ball. They're going to be brilliant, right? They,
Bomba Squad 2.0.
Yeah, basically. And so I said, do you really believe the Twins will hit? Or are you writing this because you know it's what your readers want to hear? So then he responds in rapid fire fashion, they can and will. As I pointed out, despite injuries at all, 10th in runs scored last season, and young dudes have some experience, they will swing the sticks. And again, it's...
Until they get injured.
Yeah, and it's like, they might be able to swing the sticks. We have to wait to see. But I'm not sure he really believes that. I think...
How's the lineup much different than last year's lineup?
Not.
Yeah.
But they were 10th in runs scored, missing a lot of guys. So he's extrapolating that out to this team. Now, when we have... And he was doing the old... If we get 120 games out of those three guys... I think they'll be lucky to get 120 games combined from those three guys, much less each one playing 120 games.
It's a big if.
Yeah, it's a big, big if. And, as we've talked about before, Tennessee, so much can change in baseball. How many times have I used this example? You have 6 guys from your lineup that all have good seasons. 2 probably will take another step forward. 2 will stay the same, and 2 will take a step back. And sometimes 3 take a step back. I suppose it's possible all 6 could take another step forward. It all depends. But I think it's harder to keep getting better because baseball's hard to practice. I mean, so how are you going to get better from where you're at when it's a really hard sport to even practice? So we'll wait.
I always love that one.
If I just go back to if I'm saying something because that's what I don't really believe it, but I just want that's what I think my listeners want to hear. Why wouldn't it be the same for him? They don't want to look at it that way. It's sad, really.
PST VVV III nominee.
I don't have the exact name on this one, so if anyone knows who this was a golf announcer for ESPN. And you'll hear it in this soundbite, but they're talking about TaylorMade because it's their sponsor.
Okay.
And he said, TaylorMade, maybe the most iconic logo and brand in all of sports. Here you go.
June 15th, they go PGA Tour Live on ESPN Plus. is presented by the TaylorMade TP5 and TP5X. That's the ball you switch to.
And maybe the most iconic logo or brand maybe in all of sports is the old colorful umbrella.
They got a lot of time to kill in a golf broadcast, tend to be, right?
I love that one.
So sometimes you just say things to say them. You know, we do it here. We have 3 hours to kill every day. So maybe he just had a momentary lapse in judgment. Yeah.
I love that one.
It is.
I still have
It's very good.
3 more, all audio related.
PST VVV III nominee.
You know, in the past, we've had, like, Tommy Olson won the Preposterous Statement tournament by saying Mo Ibrahim, Achilles injury, best thing could have happened in his career. I know Pat Micheletti's made the tournament by saying Kirill Kaprizov's injury is the best thing that could have happened for him.
Correct.
Kind of in line with that, this is something called Jason Timpf, who was on with Colin Cowherd, and he thinks the LeBron injury was good for him.
Luka is not yet back into his peak shape. It's going to take a little while. There's a little bit of a blessing in disguise with the LeBron injury because LeBron has been going full bore since like mid-January. It was kind of inevitable that there'd be some sort of nagging thing that would arise over the course of this stretch. And I actually think it'll be pretty nice for LeBron to get like a month off here, a couple weeks off here, just to take a little break before the postseason. That'll get more time for Luka to really lean into usage, to really lean into having the ball in his hands and build his rhythm back.
Why do we believe injuries are blessing and sin disguises? I don't understand.
I never understood that. It's always it's always nice to get time off, but it's best when like you've clinched a spot in the playoffs and you can rest guys the last couple of games.
Don't
it's
want
not
to be
because, well, he's hurt. He's got, and it's
groin, I believe. Yeah. Which that's not good.
Well, as a matter of fact, there were the first reports where, well, it could be anywhere from 1 or 2 weeks to career ending. Now I'm exaggerating. It's a career ending, but they said it could be a month or more. So it's like, well...
Especially at his age.
Yeah, it's just like, no, it's not a blessing in disguise. They were really getting on a roll there. They were, I don't know if they were the best team in basketball over that stretch since Doncic. You know, it was the third game where Doncic put up some really good numbers and started to, you know, he started to play like the old Luka, which really isn't that long ago. When I say old Luka, before he was injured, when he was playing with Dallas. And so, yeah, that's as preposterous as
I do have 2 more that maybe we can get to it another time.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, we got plenty of time. We got plenty of time to kill.
Because I like the other 2.
As we go to break and Tennessee gets ready to do Wild Today, why don't we do one of our giveaways, Tennessee? Let's give away those Wild tickets since it is the Wild Today.
Yeah.
It's a Wild Wednesday here on the Fan, presented by Jim Beam. Family made, crafted since 1795. Pair of tickets, 11th caller, 1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. 11th caller wins a pair of tickets to see the Wild take on the Rangers. Call right now, but Tennessee's got some Wild Today.
Yeah, this Wild Today brought to you by Jim Beam, the official bourbon of the Minnesota Wild. The Wild had lost 5 of their past 7 going into last night's game against a Colorado team that had won 6 straight, but Zucchi got the Wild going.
Nobody there. The Wild still. They've got a 2-0. Ralston and Zuccarello shot. He scores! A breakdown by the Avalanche, and Zuccarello floats it top shelf, and the Wild have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Matt Zuccarello scored the lone goal in regulation. Also added another one in the shootout as the Wild beat the Avalanche 2-1 last night at the X. That was Zuccarello's 15th of the season, his 322nd point with the Wild. That lifts him past Andrew Burnett for the 8th most in franchise history. Matt Boldy also scored the shootout, and the goaltending was really good. Philip Gustafsson stopped 27 of 28 shots, and then 2 more in the shootout. Wild continue their 7-game homestand when they host the New York Rangers tomorrow night at the X. That was Wild Today, brought to you by Jim Beam, a crowd pleaser since 1795.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, you know, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Tired of restless nights? At Lisa, they know good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. From memory foam mattresses to hybrids that keep you cool all night long, Lisa's mattresses offer exceptional comfort and support with free delivery and 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Go to lisa.com today and get 20% off all mattresses. That's LEESA.com and use code IHEART for an extra $50 off your purchase. Remember, no matter who you are, there's a Lisa just for you.
When it comes to playtime, never let your squad down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Push your gameplay beyond performance with 13th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E. And maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search and head to Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Welcome to the Perfect Night, Minneapolis. Simple Plan is coming to the Armory August 19th with special guest Bowling for Soup, 303 and Lolo. Don't miss out on a night of nostalgic early 2000s anthems. Tickets are on sale now. Get all the details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
That sounds like a heck of a concert. I might want to show up with some friends.
Tenneby, what's a more iconic and recognizable logo, the TaylorMade logo or Nike?
Well, clearly TaylorMade.
That's what I would say. I mean,
I don't even know if off the top of my head I would, and I've seen the TaylorMade logo. I don't know if I would have known what it looks like if you would have just asked me out of nowhere. What does it look like?
Well, and then here's what somebody sent me. It says, sounds like the golf guy was talking about the Arnold Palmer umbrella and not the TaylorMade logo. Well, he said TaylorMade, though, and TaylorMade
That's
is
what
not.
They're talking about. Well,
TaylorMade is not the Palmer logo. Palmer was a Callaway guy. He was not a TaylorMade guy. Palmer played Callaway clubs. I know I caddied for him. I would know. Of course, I only caddied for him for 7 holes and said, I got to go, Arnie. This is just getting to be a bit too much for me. Well, after, it's like, I know he's Arnie, and I know it was a treat to be able to carry the bag as part of Arnie's army, but the army was so big, and I just decided it was time to move on. But it sounds, the way I heard the preposterous statement nominee was they said the TaylorMade logo. They said nothing about Arnold Palmer. Because the Arnold Palmer umbrella, I don't know if non-golf fans would know what that is, right? I mean, if you're a golf fan, if you followed golf the way I have, you see the umbrella, you go, oh, that's Arnold Palmer's logo, the one he uses. But if you don't watch that, you would think it was like a logo for Mary Poppins or the what's the salt person? Morton Salt, right? That's what you'd say. You wouldn't say, oh, it's Arnold Palmer. That's the Arnold Palmer logo, but neither.
Did you want 2 more nominees?
Oh, sure, yeah. I thought we were going to say it for another time, but I'd love to do it now.
PST VVV III nominee.
I won't play this entire soundbite because it goes on for about a minute, but
that's okay.
Do you know who Bull is? Basketball player, big man?
Yeah, I've heard the
Manute
name.
Bull's son?
Okay, I've heard the name, sure.
Well, Tim Hardaway Sr. apparently at one point had said that Bull is like just as talented as Victor Wembanyama, and then he was asked about it, and he doubled down on it.
Okay.
I got to ask you about the summer of 2023, because it's you and Shaq right now. You said that Bull's better than Victor Wembanyama. We've seen a lot since then. Do you stand by that?
I tell you this.
I think Bol has the same abilities as Victor Wembanyama. I think that Bol hasn't went out there and showed it for some reasons or whatever, but I see the same athletic ability that Bol has. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if the team is not giving him.
I'll kind of stop it there. He keeps rambling for a while. And then one of my favorites now is a fan personality has been nominated.
Oh. PST VVV III nominee.
This is Nordo, producer of 9 to Noon, and here's what he just said a day or two ago about Kirk Cousins.
I think Kirk would almost be happier just potentially leaving the league because he's not chasing dollars. I think he legitimately chases wins.
I always love that one.
He's notorious for squeezing every penny out of every contract he's ever gotten.
Exactly. Yeah, I think unless there's been a amazing change or metamorphosis in Kirk's approach to football, I would think that is as preposterous as it gets because he has always been pretty much about the money. Wasn't his quote something about what the money represents? Was that him?
Yes. That was last year.
Yeah, that was Kirk last year. It's what the money represents, so good for him. There's probably, tend to be, other than when it comes to the NFL draft, the foremost expert that I know is Meat Sauce. When it comes to free agency, I think it's you for me. And you had said that I think you didn't think there would be a big run at running backs in free agency because there's so many good ones available in the draft. And has any free agent running back signed a contract? I don't think they have. And if it has, it's there. And maybe there's not a lot of good ones available, but it just seems like I think people are.
I don't think there was a lot of good ones available. Obviously, Aaron Jones returned.
Right.
I think Najee Harris from Pittsburgh has agreed to like a 1-year deal with the Chargers. Then you get some, some second, third type running backs that have signed, but
so we probably won't see a run on them if there's not that many available. And it is a deep draft apparently for the for running backs. Do we have the Mayday? Mayday in Green Bay.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Time now for another edition of Mayday in Green Bay. An inside esoteric analysis of the Aaron Rodgers crisis in Titletown, USA.
This is a CBS Sports story, Tennessee, by Brian DiArdo. This is within the last hour. He writes, former NFL GM says Aaron Rodgers is holding the Steelers hostage.
Ooh.
Story reads as follows. It says, not many people would have predicted the Pittsburgh Steelers' current predicament a month or even a week ago, but here we are. Steelers, after an unsuccessful attempt to re-sign Justin Fields, are now waiting to see if Aaron Rodgers will play for them in 2025. Pittsburgh waited throughout the NFL's second day of the legal tampering period to get an answer from Rodgers, who was reportedly deciding between the Steelers, the Giants, or even retiring. Now, that might be preposterous. There's no way he retires. Do you think? I just don't think I don't think he wants to go out the way he did, miss a whole year because of injury, and then last year just did not go well for
I just think if you're going to retire, now, this might be the wrong person to say it about because he likes to drag things on more than anything, but if you're going to retire, don't you just do it before free agency?
Yes.
And now if you retire, it looks like you retired because you weren't wanted.
Right, well, that's it. That's it.
Whereas you retired 3 weeks ago on your own terms.
I think he's also, this is, my IQ profiling. He just seems to be someone, he would like to announce that this is his last year so that every stadium he would go to, it'd be a big talk all year. His last year, last time playing in the Meadowlands, the return to Green Bay, right? His last game. There are those that think, a couple of people, and I'm sure you thought about this as well, tend to be that if Rodgers were to sign with somebody, if he could get some guarantees that he would play in Minnesota, he might want to stick it to Green Bay. Because I think Favre did, right?
Yeah.
I think Favre loved coming back and playing for Minnesota. So I could see where Rodgers might be interested in that. Story says, this is Doug Whaley, former NFL general manager. He said this on 93.7 The Fan. The Fan. Via Steelers Depot. 93.7 The Fan. Aaron Rodgers is holding the entire Steelers organization hostage. Holding them hostage. If they are, well, then that's on the Steelers then, right? I mean, if you're last, and you're right, you talked about how many free agent quarterbacks are available, and the pickings are pretty slim right now, right? I mean, there's not much.
It's Rodgers and Russell Wilson, and then
that's it. And so I guess if you are Pittsburgh, I don't know what they're thinking in that organization. They weren't they like 10-3 at one point? 11-3? I mean, they had a gaudy record.
Yeah.
And didn't they do what Philadelphia did 2 years ago? Just went straight in the tank and lost. I think they lost like their last 4 or 5 games and took themselves. They were looking like they were fighting for a top seed in the AFC. And they ended up, did they make the playoffs and get destroyed right away? They didn't even make postseason play, did they?
They did. They lost to the Ravens.
Yeah, okay, that's right. That's right. They got beat by the Ravens.
It looks like they were 8-2.
8-2.
And even 10-3.
10-3.
Then they lost their last 4 and then lost in the playoffs.
So
now the teams they lost to were Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati. So I think a lot of it's schedule related too.
That's some pretty good clubs. I guess that's a very good point. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. But I would have to think Pittsburgh's got to feel like they're, to go from being a playoff team last year, like you say, losing to those teams, coming back this year, you want to attempt to make postseason again because you probably feel like you got a pretty decent club. And then they have to go with Jacoby Brissett, or he just signed, but to go with Mac Jones,
Taylor Heineke,
yeah.
I
guess that would leave a lot to be desired. So maybe he is holding him hostage. I just
for money or what?
I don't think it. I think he just means that by not making any kind of a decision, they're just sitting there having to wait and wait and wait because I think you said the domino effect until Rodgers goes, and
which is going to hold up on Russell Wilson.
Correct. How about the 49ers? They've lost everybody, right? I mean, not everybody, but they've lost all sorts of players. I mean, that's what happens. You get your window, you make your run. Now, don't they have to pay Purdy? Is he making big money now? Did he make it last year?
He hasn't signed it yet, but I think he's going to get his contract,
And so what's that going to be worth? I don't know.
I don't think I'd want to pay that much for Brock Purdy.
Yeah. I mean, he's not, just because he's the next quarterback to sign, he's no way he's making that kind of money that the Mahomeses and that Josh Allens are, right? What did Allen say?
You never know. It seems like mediocre quarterbacks all the time become the highest paid quarterback just because that's like Trevor Lawrence at one point last offseason was the highest paid quarterback in the league. He didn't do anything to deserve to be that guy.
You just can't pay him that kind of money.
No, you can't.
Mr. Irrelevant, they call him, right? Last person in the draft.
Yeah.
Played really well. There was always discussion, best quarterbacks, who's this, who's that. Sometimes you're also a product of what you've got around you, and that's not to take any. I guess I'm trying to take something away from Purdy, even though I'm saying I'm not trying to, but you slide a guy into a situation. Well, even like Darnold's a good example, right? Finally in a situation where he had a coach that knows the X's and O's. He's considered a really good offensive coordinator. He's also considered QB dubs, right? Best wide receiver in football, good running game. You know, going into the season, you had two tackles on either side that were considered bookends. So, you know, and Darnold, you got to give a lot of the credit to Darnold. He played really well. I mean, it's not all the system, it's not all the players, but Purdy seems to be the kind of guy that, I mean, that San Francisco team was loaded offensively and defensively. That's why they were this past 5-6 year stretch. Have they been to 2 big games in the past 4 years, 5 years? I mean, that's NFC championship games. a good club. It's your chances of succeeding at that position are better when you're surrounded by a lot of good players. So and he doesn't have them now. Debo is gone, right? They've lost all sorts of players on that club, from what I understand. So I don't know. I'm just glad we got our guy. That's all I know, Tenneby. He's
JJ.
Do you think PA will bring that back?
It's going to be JJ to JJ now.
Yeah. But I mean, do you think because he's didn't Jefferson say like
call me Jets?
Yeah, just call me Jets. And I didn't listen enough to PA, and I apologize for that. Did he get away from the he's JJ thing, or did he just keep running with it right to the very end of the season? Because if he said, well, I'll call him Jets, I'll acquiesce to his wishes, and I won't call him JJ, then does he bring back JJ with McCarthy? McCarthy back to throw, touchdown to Jets, he's JJ.
Let me get a JJ highlight for you, and
okay.
Let's get the big touchdown last year against San Francisco. How about this one?
2nd and 9 for the Vikings from their own 3. Darnold under center. Play action to Jones. Back to pass. Bosa picked up. Deep shot. Jefferson. Yes! Caught at the 50. Heads left to the 40. Cuts back to the 25. Heads to the right. He's trying to outrun the Niners. To the 5. Touchdown! A 97-yard touchdown from Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson. And your Minnesota Vikings have a 9-0 lead.
It's kind of a hard one because he was doing yards after the catch there, so it's not like catching it in the end zone.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from the Seattle 39. 3:58 to go. Seattle leads by 4 in the fourth quarter. Sam steps up. Sam throws left. Caught. Jefferson. Touchdown. Yes! Sam, the man on the fan, finds the moneymaker Justin Jefferson. And the Vikings have taken a 26-24 lead.
Sounds like he maybe got away from it. He's JJ. He's got to bring it back with McCarthy, right?
JJ to JJ.
Yeah, you can do the JJ to JJ, but I just like the he's Jets. Just one of them. That's the one that gives me goosebumps.
Let's try one more.
3rd and goal for the Vikings just underway. Darnold out of the shotgun. Aaron Jones by his side. Brandon Powell in motion to the right. Now back to the left. Darnold takes the snap. 4-man rush. Looking left. Sam. He'll scamper out to the left. Eyes into the end zone. Throws. Touchdown! Darnold to Justin Jefferson. And the Minnesota Vikings take the interception and turn it into 6. It's 6-0 Minnesota.
He's JJ's gone.
End of an era.
But it could come back with McCarthy. I think he needs to bring it back. McCarthy back to pass. He throws. Touchdown. He's JJ. I like it.
Might get a little confusing, though.
Yeah, that's true. The regular listeners will get it, Tenneby.
He will definitely do JJ to JJ.
Yeah.
He'll definitely say that.
Yeah. JJ squared. Is that how you would say that?
Yeah.
You could go that way. It's JJ squared. Double J, double dagger. No, that doesn't work real well.
I always love that one.
But it could work. You could do that. Last thing as we go to break, as we get ready to bring the legendary Mark Rosen into the conversation. Imagine if the Vikings signed Rodgers and Diggs. Can you imagine those two guys in the same locker room? That actually might be a great combination. Because they're both diva-like, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're made for each other.
It'd be fun.
What do you think the percentage chances are that the Vikings sign Rodgers? I think it's 0. I don't think they have any interest. I don't think
it's 0.
Really? Here's why I say it's because they believe so much, and other teams say this. It's that buzzword that's been around. It seems like it's just been more frequent now in the last few years. Maybe it's been around forever and I just don't remember it, or maybe it wasn't a buzzword then, but the culture of the organization, the culture we have in this team, the culture. If you bring a guy in, whatever you want to say about Rodgers, he's He garners all the attention. He points fingers. You could say he just holds people accountable. I don't believe that. I think you bring him in here and then all of a sudden it becomes all about Rodgers. I think with the changes, obviously the tricky part is if McCarthy ends up being like Ponder, none of it matters, right? Really? I mean, we've seen okay quarterbacks lead teams into playoff runs, and we've seen some quarterbacks that were just okay get to the big game before and win it. One of the primary, Jeff Hostetler, won a big game with the New York Giants. I bet there's people out there that don't recognize the name. It's so long ago. They beat Buffalo back when what's-his-face was the coach. Who was the legendary Giants coach? Why can't I think
Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells. But if they're wrong about McCarthy, and I don't think they are. I think the guy's going to be. I don't know how good he can be. Does he have top 5 quarterback in him? I don't know. You got to be, when you think of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, tend to me, it'd be tough to get up to that Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson territory. But if he ends up being just okay, they've invested a lot of money in. Then you got to do it. I'm not suggesting they shouldn't have invested the money, but to me, that's the biggest trick. If these guys that they just signed, the 2 inside defensive linemen, and then the center and the guard, if these guys are really good and can play like they're capable of, back to that Pro Bowl, like the team could be really dangerous. They could be really good.
Frankly, if you got them up to Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff level with what you got around him, you'd be all right. Or Sam Darnold level.
One pill makes you larger, and the other one make you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Let's break and come back. We'll see what the legendary one, Mark Rosen, waiting in the wings. He joins us next here on the Common Man program on The Fan.
It's tax season, and by now, I know we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's an important one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Here's another, 20%. That's the overall increase in identity theft related to tax fraud in 2024 alone. But it's not all grim news. Here's a good number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialists will fix it, backed by another good number, the $1 Million Protection Plan. In fact, restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Don't face identity theft and financial losses alone. There's strength in numbers with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection for tax season and beyond. Join now and save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Ever wake up feeling lousy, knowing something is off with your body? You don't have time for guesswork. You need Viome. Forget all the generic health fads. Viome doesn't tell you what you want to hear. It tells you what's actually going on inside your body. By analyzing your gut microbiome, Viome delivers a custom health plan that's as unique as your DNA. It's science, not nonsense. Want energy? Want better digestion? Viome has your back. Stop trusting amateurs. Go to Viome.com for a personalized gut professional now. Call StarStar Gut to get $110 off any test. That's StarStar 488 to receive a link to the offer.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
Tired of restless nights? At Leesa, they know good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. From memory foam mattresses to hybrids that keep you cool all night long, Leesa's mattresses offer exceptional comfort and support, with free delivery and 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Go to leesa.com today and get 20% off all mattresses. That's LEESA.com and use code IHEART for an extra $50 off your purchase. Remember, no matter who you are, there's a Leesa just for you.